One morning, I opened my fridge to grab breakfast, but instead of cold air, it looked right at me and said, "You forgot your vegetables again." I froze. My refrigerator had somehow become my personal life coach. It pointed at a lonely broccoli like it was introducing me to my new best friend. I tried to ignore it and secretly reached for a donut behind my back, but the fridge narrowed its eyes and caught me instantly. Before I could grab another bite, it slammed its own door shut and declared, "No junk food today." I couldn't believe I was being judged by an appliance. With no other choice, I grabbed a carrot and took one tiny bite. The fridge smiled proudly, as if I just won an Olympic gold medal. A shiny little gold star sticker suddenly appeared on the fridge door just for me. Feeling a little too confident, I tried sneaking a slice of cake from behind the fridge, but one eye slowly peeked around the door and stared directly at me. I was busted again. Instead of giving me cake, the fridge launched an apple straight into my hands. Then, it gave me a cheerful thumbs up and said it believed in me. Just when I thought things couldn't get any stranger, the fridge suddenly became serious, pointed toward the freezer, and whispered, "Whatever you do, don't open that door." Naturally, I opened it. The moment the freezer door swung open, a giant icy cloud burst into the kitchen and turned everything freezing cold. Then, something impossible happened. Tiny ice cubes jumped out of the freezer with little cartoon faces, waving at me like they were introducing themselves. I stepped backward in shock, slipped on one of them, and crashed onto the floor while the fridge winced in embarrassment. The ice cubes scattered everywhere, and I grabbed a tiny butterfly net to catch them, but they bounced around the kitchen faster than I could run. One even put on tiny sunglasses and somehow looked cooler than I ever would. Desperate to make peace, I offered them a plate of cookies, but they all shook their heads and pointed toward the vegetables instead. Even the ice cubes wanted me to eat healthy. Finally, I gave in, grabbed a piece of broccoli, and took a bite. The fridge clapped. The ice cubes clapped. It felt like I'd just passed the world's weirdest exam. But before I could celebrate, the fridge slowly turned toward the pantry, looked terrified, and whispered, "The pantry is waking up." The pantry door slowly creaked open all by itself. I nervously shined a flashlight inside and watched as bags of chips, cereal boxes, and cookie jars peeked out with tiny cartoon faces. They weren't angry. They looked disappointed. One cookie jar pointed directly at me and said, "You've been blaming us for years, but you're the one who kept eating us." I didn't know what to say. Suddenly, carrots and broccoli started cheering like they just won a championship. Before I could process any of it, the talking fridge gently placed a tiny golden crown on top of a broccoli. King Broccoli had officially been crowned ruler of the kitchen. The snacks applauded while I stood there completely speechless. Somehow, I ended up saluting a piece of broccoli while everyone watched proudly. Then, King Broccoli smiled, handed me a shiny apple as my reward, and nodded with approval. I laughed, took a big bite of the apple, and suddenly, the whole kitchen exploded into a celebration. Confetti filled the air, the vegetables danced, the snacks cheered, and even the talking fridge looked proud. Everything slowly returned to normal, and the fridge gave me one final thumbs up. I smiled, thinking the strange adventure was finally over. Then I opened the fridge one last time, expecting congratulations. Instead, it handed me a bottle of water and calmly said, "Great job. Now, drink more water." I sighed, laughed, and realized that living with a talking fridge meant the life lessons would probably never end. Thanks for watching. If this story made you smile, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Doodle Bonk for more hilarious Stickman adventures every day. See you in the next video.